Howdy Coder Pros, this is your girl Tam Talk, coming to actually do a cover audio as I did not realize how heavily the wind was blowing and it was becoming a nuisance or distraction to me as I was editing, so I can only imagine what it would do to you. But long story short, I want to come on and have a conversation with you as it relates to mental health issues or disorders within the coding industry. As you know, many people suffer from different mental health disorders in any profession, but I want to speak specifically to that in the coding profession. So, I'm going to be transparent and say that I believe that I suffered from burnout. Actually, I suffered from burnout during the pandemic, and the reason for this is because there were so many changes that was going on in healthcare with one, this new diagnosis, and then how we were to code it, bill it, and things of that nature. And then when we have political involvement, codes change, rules change, and so it was a constant change, an ongoing change as it relates to how this specific or new diagnosis should be coded. And then, if you're in coding leadership, not only are you dealing with operational issues, but you're also dealing with the mental um, concerns or some of the anxiety from your coding team or coding staff. So, on top of operational issues, you're also trying to continue to maintain or at least build the morale of your coding department or your coding team. So, yes, so that for me is where my I started feeling the burnout. And and now that we are post pandemic, we're still seeing some of the ramifications of that. Um, and whether it be with the actual coding itself or it could be some personal things, again, the outcome of the pandemic. And so some of those disorders may look like anxiety, it may look like burnout, it may look like, a combination of the two. It varies. So one of the things that I want to share with you is self-care. I'm very big on self-care. I'm really big on taking coding breaks. And if you are a follower of mine, you will see that I, speak on that. I create videos on that to make sure that you are taking your coding breaks. So what exactly does coding breaks or self-care looks like? It will vary depending on the person. As you know, we are different individuals, and what may be self-care for one may be something different for another. For me, I enjoy nature. I like walking because walking allows me to clear my headspace. I'm in touch with nature, and I say real noise, such as the wind blowing, the birds chirping, the airplanes flying. In other words, I'm in touch with the actual noises that I'm supposed to be hearing when I'm outdoors. And so, again, it allows me to put my phone down. Unfortunately, in this case, I was recording, to actually be in touch with nature, to hear the kids playing or to hear laughter, to hear the cars going by. So again, that's one of the ways that I tap into my self-care. I do the whole spa thing, the massage and all that. Yes, and I find things to maintain that balance. And sometimes, my self-care may be a little bit more than my professional career and vice versa. So it has peaks and valleys as to how do you find that balance. Sometimes you may give 60%, 80%, sometimes you may give 50-50. But it's, each individual and what in each circumstance and situation. And so I wanted to talk to you about that you want to maintain your self-care. And another thing that may trigger, I would say, burnout or trigger anxiety could be the standards or the policies, such as maintaining productivity as well as quality coding. it can produce somewhat of a stressful situation when you're trying to meet, I would say, the quota, as well as make sure it's quality coding. And I think that may have to do with some of the I would say the I hate to say punishment, because punishment is such a harsh word, but some of the outcomes if you don't meet those measures, right? It does produces or increases anxiety for someone who is actually doing the best that they can as it relates to reaching productivity or providing quality coding, right? So that in itself adds anxiety to a coder. Now, again, I state that the coding profession or coding industry is a wonderful career opportunity, it's a career space. As with any other profession, there will be some form of anxiety or stress. But again, if that stress um, is an ongoing, continuous thing, you want to make sure you're implementing your proper self care mechanisms or tools, and even if that means seeking therapy, and that's okay. I've done that as well. Seeking therapy, seeking a third party, someone or neutral person to share your thoughts and your concerns with, and perhaps they will provide you with some strategies so that you can find that balance, right? To find that balance. So yeah, again, just again, I'm here to remind you to make sure that you take care of yourself, your mental health, as well as your physical health. And I always say, don't be the chart that you code. Again, don't be the chart that you code. And so, yes, so that's what I wanted to talk about as it relates to mental health, just taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. And then I wanted to move into the 2024 updates. I don't know if you read or if you heard, but the AMA has decided to incorporate some Spanish code descriptors in the 2024 coding, CPT coding. So, yes, so you will have English and you will have Spanish. Now, for those of us who are new to Spanish, or we don't speak another language, or we haven't been introduced to the basics of Spanish, it may present a challenge, but hopefully it's a positive challenge. Look at this. We're learning a new language, right? We are learning a new language. And also, coding in itself is a new language. It's a new language for those who don't actually code, right? Who are not in this profession. So we are our own foreign language. So if we can learn and master coding, we can also learn and master Spanish. And so for those of you who are new to learning a new language, I would like to present to you Alison.com. So Alison.com has a plethora of free courses to include foreign language courses for the beginners, the intermediate, and the advanced students. And so I will leave that link for you in the description box where you can start learning Spanish. Again, if you are in coding, and as I mentioned, the AMA is now incorporating or has decided to incorporate the Spanish code descriptors to make it, even kill for the community in which we will be providing healthcare, right? And so, yeah, so again, I will leave that link for you in the description box so that you can get on your journey to learn a new language. But it is exciting that, again, we're getting to learn new things, aside from, the technology that is again, I almost say infiltrating because it sounds so bad, but there's some new things coming about in healthcare, and although it can be stressful, we have the privilege of learning a new skill set. Not just coding, we're learning how to be tech savvy. Now we're getting ready to learn a new language. So yes, so that is something else you can add on your resume, that you know how to speak Spanish, right? In healthcare. So yes, so I am excited about that. And Yeah, so again, we talked about healthcare, we talk about mental health, we're talking about learning new skills and learning a new language in healthcare. And also, for those of you who are remote or perhaps you're in the coding student capacity, um, a virtual workspace, right? So I'm sure you've seen me talk about the Coders Cafe. The Coders Cafe is actually a virtual workspace for individuals seeking to find a space of mellowness, if that's a word. Is mellowness a word? But we're going to use that. A space away from all the chaos, right? Where you can come in and listen to some easygoing music, change your scenery, perhaps network with a like minded individual who's also in the workspace. The Coders Cafe is open 24/7. Again, for you as a coding student or a coding professional who's just trying to get away and just trying to get into a change of scenery and a space where you can um, focus on your coding, right? And there are some amazing tools within that will also help you track your productivity and allow you to be focused. And again, it has the easygoing music for you just to kind of put you in a relaxed space so that you can code without all the stress. And so yes, I will also leave the link for you so that you can enter the Coders Cafe. Again, it is a virtual workspace with coders in mind. So, yes, so again, if you have not re- received or if you have not placed your order for your 2024 ICD-10 CM codes or coding manuals, this is your reminder to do so. Again, the 2024 ICD-10 CM code is going to affect October 1st of 2023. Now, October 1st, 2024, but 2023, which is what, in a couple of weeks, yeah, those codes will go into effect. So this is your reminder to order your ICD-10 CM manuals, or at least get the new codes and the new guidelines. And I encourage each of you to study those guidelines, see what has changed and what hasn't changed, and make notes of that. And so, yes, so I'm excited, guys. I am truly excited about what's to come. I'm getting myself mentally prepared. The Spanish, yes, I'm excited. So, again, remember, take your coding breaks. Remember to prioritize your self care. Get outside, get some fresh air, take a break from the computer screen. And again, join me or as well as other coding professionals in the Coders Cafe. Again, I'm typically there on Wednesdays, but it is open 24/7 for individuals to join and get that workspace. And guess what, guys? You don't even have to be a coder. If you're just looking for a workspace that is mellow and provides a focal space for you to study or to work, hey, you're welcome to join. You are welcome to join. Again, I will leave that link in the description box below. And yeah, that's all that I have. So, as I always say, code on.